Probably when I was about 3, 4, 5 years old, when I started playing like.
When you were 3, 4, 5 years old.
When I
Wow.
started playing. But if you gave me a piece of sheet music and said, "Bav, can you learn this song?" I wouldn't even know where to start. Like I wouldn't know
So you
what
can't
key I'm
read
pressing.
sheet music
Can't
at
read
all?
sheet music at all. He literally stood there for 10 minutes and he just watched me play. And he said I was just mesmerised.
What's the draw then? How come you haven't gone into this full time? So Bavish, aka Piano with Bhav. So you've got 33,900 followers on Instagram. You've got YouTube videos which are getting thousands of views. Last night I randomly spoke to a friend of mine as well, who's been to 2 events where you've performed.
Okay.
So his cousins and his friends. So no doubt you're popular. No doubt you're growing. You've been very successful. And the more I kind of look into you, I understand that you're very unique. So what is it that I need to understand about you, your earliest years and your upbringing, to understand how you've been so successful?
I think for me it was music was never really a passion for anyone in my family. So it wasn't like my mum and dad were into music, or you know some musicians their dad was like part of a band and they play the piano or the keyboard or something like that. But for me it was very weird because no one in my family had that background. Right. And when I was about 3 or 4 years old, I used to have the little tiny, you know, kiddie baby keyboards that you get from the shop. I used to play around on it, and then I started picking up like nursery rhymes, and I still remember I used to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I used to play Happy Birthday, and when it was someone's birthday, my mum would be like, "Oh, can you play Happy Birthday?" on my little tiny like 15 key keyboard. And they obviously knew that I had a passion for it, and I used to, even those songs I used to listen and just pick up the key, and at that age it was quite like interesting that I was doing it at such a young age. So then as I got older, my mum and dad bought me a bigger keyboard and a bigger keyboard and and it just kept growing.
Right.
And then my mum sent me to piano lessons, and I absolutely hated it.
What age was that?
I must have been around 8 to 10 years old probably. Wow. So definitely under 10. And I literally went to 3 lessons, cried after every single lesson, because I hated learning the piano. I hated not learning the piano, but I hated being taught how to play the piano. Right. And I wasn't interested in like reading sheet music or learning how to read sheet music and playing classical music. I was at that age where I just wanted to mess around and play on it.
Just want to play.
I wasn't taking it seriously, and it was more of a hobby, and it became a chore. So then I didn't like that feeling, and I told my mum, "Look, I don't want to do it anymore." She was like, "Great, because that saves me some money. Don't have to pay for your lessons anymore." But after that, I started getting more and more into it, and obviously as I got older, I got more into the music. Obviously coming from an Asian background as well, we were into our Bollywood music. That's the music that my family listened to, and then with my friends it was all English music. So when I did GCSEs, I got into music a little bit more, because I started doing I did GCSE music basically, and
nice.
And even with GCSE music it was a different type of course where we had to form a band. So I had me on the piano, we had a singer, we had a drummer, a bass guitarist, and another guitarist, electric guitarist, and we used to make our own music, and we used to just mess around and practice at lunchtimes, and it was really interesting, and that's what actually really got me motivated to learn more music. And then it just took off from there, sort of thing, and I started doing talent shows at school, getting invited to play at people's birthday parties, just little tiny events. And then when I went to university, I took my piano with me, so I had like a digital piano, and I put it in my halls, and whenever I got some time between uni, I just used to practice and play some stuff. And then after I graduated, I started seeing loads of people like performing at weddings, and I was like, I can do this, like I know how to play the piano, I can learn music. So then I thought, you know what, let me just start building up a portfolio of different songs, and I started finding out all the old school English and Bollywood songs that my mum and dad used to like from the Bollywood side, my sisters, because I've got older sisters and a brother, all of their type of music and my type of music. I started like getting all of my like sort of lists together, and I started just listening to music and just learning it, and they call it perfect pitch. So I can literally listen to a song on Spotify or YouTube or whatever. If you sent me a link and say, "Bav, can you play this song?"
Wow.
I'll listen to it, and within the first minute I can definitely pick up the right hand, because the right hand's always easier to learn. Right. Then you pick up the chords after that, because they kind of match with the right hand, and after a couple of minutes or hours I can pick up the song, and I'll do it and I'll perfect it. But if you gave me a piece of sheet music and said, "Bav, can you learn this song?" I wouldn't even know where to start. Like I wouldn't know what key I'm pressing.
Sheet music
Can't
at
read
all.
sheet music at all.
Wow.
So when you see me at events, I won't have anything in front of me. I don't even have a sheet stand in front of me. So I've got my baby grand piano shell
Yeah.
connected all up like electric to my speakers and stuff, and I have my phone literally under the flap with my song list and whatever I'm feeling at the time, like the vibe that I'm getting from the guests. Like, okay, the guests are like showing a bit of energy. I'm gonna play some Afro beats,
Wow.
so then I'll just play something from my list. But it's all in my head. Like, it's weird. I don't know how I do it, but my memory's obviously pretty good to remember the stuff.
That's crazy to hear. I mean,
Yeah.
I could never do that. Firstly, like I've definitely had lessons in the past,
Oh yeah.
and it's like we're as middle C and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
all the 3 lines face or whatever.
Yeah. Have you done grades?
I did start to. My wife plays,
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah.
but she's not you. Definitely not. So I'm so surprised by that because, you know, if anyone asked, I would say you're a professional pianist. I've seen you on YouTube. I've seen you on
Yeah.
Instagram. I've heard so much about you. You're a professional pianist,
Yeah.
but you
But
only
technically,
play by listening.
Yeah.
So if I played you a song, what, you just get the notes in your head?
It just, as soon as I hear the song, I don't know obviously how other people's brains work, but when I listen to music, I don't even listen to the lyrics. I listen to the instruments in the back.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay. It's like some songs don't even have piano, which is another benefit of me learning by ear, because like, especially Bollywood music, you would never find like Bollywood sheet music online. And most Bollywood songs, or a lot of Bollywood songs, don't have piano in there, so there'll be other types of instruments, but obviously they're the same keys and the same chords and stuff, but not a piano. I can visualize it in my head, and I'm like, okay, I think I know where this is going to be, and then I'll just start.
So when did that
right
first
hand.
start? When did you realise you had this talent?
Probably when I was about 3, 4, 5 years old, when I started playing like.
When you were 3, 4, 5 years old?
When I
Wow.
started playing, like I said, like when I started playing Happy Birthday and Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and all these little nursery rhymes, that's when everyone realised in my family that he's got some sort of talent, because he's playing things without even
That's
like
crazy.
reading anything, just listening to the song. So
That's absolutely crazy. Me
Yeah.
at 3 years old, I can imagine. I had a little keyboard and I was just like bashing
Smashing
it
the
away.
keys.
Exactly. And whereas you're like, you're listening to songs and just
and
playing
play
them.
it, yeah.
What
No,
was the
it's-
reaction at that point from your parents then?
I think they were really fascinated, and they didn't want to, because it was a hobby and I really enjoyed it. They didn't want me to not pursue it. So that's why my mum obviously got me into the lessons, thinking, oh, you know, he might enjoy it. Let's get him a bit more skilled. Obviously, I didn't enjoy it, but I still carried on sort of the passion for it.
Yeah.
And I decided I'd learn myself, and that's when they bought me, like I said, a bigger keyboard, digital piano. Took the piano to uni, and now, like, obviously you've seen me perform at weddings.
Yeah.
I have a proper baby grand shell that I like bring into events, set it up on site, connect it all up, do my sound checks, and then I play first dances, entrances, drinks, receptions, canapes, play any type of event.
So, Bav, I understand that this is not a full-time job for you, right?
No.
So this is still what I would say a hobby or a side
Yeah,
hustle,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So is it a chartered accountant?
Yeah, literally just chartered 2 months ago, so I just passed my
Congrats.
final exams. Yeah.
So what's the draw then? Like, how come you haven't gone into this full time?
So I love working in finance. Like when I was a kid, when I was young, I always wanted to work in finance. I always wanted to be an accountant. I always wanted to work in finance. That was my goal. I went to university, got the degree, worked in finance ever since I've left university, and done my qualifications now. Recently got promoted, so now I'm starting a new job next week.
Wow.
As a finance manager. So that keeps me going. And also I feel like I've struck a nice balance between doing finance and then doing something completely different and playing piano. Like no one would ever expect me, when I'm playing piano at a wedding, they think that I do this full time, and they think he must be, this must be what he does. And when I'm working in my finance job, they would never think I'm going out on a weekend or I'm going out this evening and I'm performing at someone's wedding. But
until they see this episode go live.
Until they see this episode go live, yeah. But it's interesting because everyone asks me the same question, like, why don't you do it full time? I do enough weddings in a year to probably make it full time.
Yeah.
But I don't ever want it to become a chore. I still want it to be a hobby and a passion and something that I enjoy doing. Like I enjoy waking up on a weekend. You know, sometimes I'm waking up 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning to get to a venue to set up. You wouldn't do that if you weren't motivated. And I don't want to ever wake up on a weekend and think, oh, I can't be bothered to perform at this wedding today. Like I've got so many weddings to do, and I don't know. It's just I don't want it to be a chore. I want it. I want to keep the passion and the love for it. And I feel like when it gets into a full-time job and that's all you're doing, you start losing the love for it. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to risk that as well. So
interesting. So I have a different take on that actually. So before I started Fairytale Proposals and Events Plan, I worked in law.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I used to work for one of the Magic Circle law firms.
Yeah, yeah.
I left that role in November last year.
Okay.
And you know, I've been running Fairytale Proposal and Events Planner for over 5 years now. So since November, I was doing what you were doing, where it was like
Balancing
I
two
have
jobs.
a full-time role which is super high intensity.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, Central London, crazy hours, evenings, weekends, client events.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right, waking up at whatever 5-6 a.m. to
Yeah,
get there. You know, plan everything, organize it all.
Yeah.
We have a team as well, so I was kind of juggling both. And from my personal, you know, experience, last 6 months, I look back and I'm like, wow, I could have made this leap like 3 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And I haven't. And every day I come into work, there's no stress. It's like you say, it's the passion, it's a hobby. It doesn't feel like stress at all. It doesn't even feel like I'm at work. I'm here interviewing you. It doesn't feel like I'm working, but this is my job.
I get that as well. I do feel when I'm playing piano, I do feel the same. Like I enjoy it. I love it. I love getting up on a weekend thinking, that's it. I'm gonna go play someone's first dance. I'm gonna go entertain people. I'm gonna play at a drink reception. You know, I'm making people's dreams come true.
Absolutely.
You know, like there's brides who have messaged me saying, oh my god, I've dreamt of walking down the aisle to this song. Can you play it? And I'm like, yeah, I can. You know. Wow. And you're making their dreams come true. You know, and it's. Yeah, it doesn't. You don't get the stress.
Like work.
I don't ever get stressed by it. Sometimes I do feel a bit stressed when I've got to learn a song, or I've got to I know I've got to learn like a new song that I've never learned before. But I get it done. You know, it's a little bit stressful, but I'll learn it. Whereas I get that working in finance as well, like law, finance, those type of industries are just a bit intense.
It can be. It can be, right? So what was the turning point? So obviously you mentioned straight after university your keyboard grew, right? It went from a keyboard to a baby grand.
Baby grand, yeah.
What was the turning point where you realised, actually, wow, this is turning into something?
Once I started hitting a lot of weddings. So when I first, so it was actually 2018 I started doing the weddings.
Right.
So I'd been thinking about it since 2015, 2016. I was like, do you know what? I need to do this. I need to do this. And I was like, something just kept stopping me. And I was like, do you know what? I just need to do it. Like, I need to just bite the bullet and start something. Like, I can do what these people are doing. I want to get into the wedding industry. I want to entertain. I want to play piano at events. And then in 2018, that's when I started up the Instagram. I got a friend of mine to make the Piano With Bhav logo like this. He made it all for me. Nice. And I just started putting myself out there. Like, I started learning music. And then I think my first wedding, like my first year of doing piano, I probably had like 4 or 5 weddings. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not really getting weddings. Like, I see these people out here doing like 50, 100 weddings a year while I'm only getting 5. And I was like, you know what? It's early days. Keep going. And then I had loads of bookings in the diary. And then COVID hit. So all of the bookings got cancelled. But then I took advantage of that opportunity. And I think that's when it started really blowing up for me on social media. So I went from like a couple of 100 followers in lockdown to 10, 15,000 because I just sat at home because I had nothing else to do. And I just kept learning new music. And I noticed that everyone else went quiet because there were no weddings happening. Yeah. I was like, what can I do that other people aren't doing right now? Learn new music, learn stuff that people haven't heard before on piano. Because people are at home. People are on social media more than they would have ever been. So I took advantage of that opportunity and I started like sharing loads of stuff, started playing Afrobeats, old school garage, all that sort of stuff, which you would never hear on a piano. And I started doing mashups, like Bollywood English mashups and things like that. So people were really interested and that's when the following started coming through. And then after COVID, I started getting like crazy amount of bookings. And then I've just met so many people in the industry. Like I perform with other musicians, I perform with tabla players, saxophonists, violinists quite regularly, singers. So it's just, it's crazy where I've got to really, like from just playing piano or keyboard in my room, in my bedroom at home, to performing like in the UK and also abroad. So
you mentioned for a few years there was something stopping you from taking that leap.
Yeah.
What do you think that was?
I think it was fear of failure for me. Like I was anxious that if I do this, is it really worth it? Like,
Risk of taking that leap. Is this going to work? Is it not?
That's exactly what it was. And I thought, do you know what? I just need to do it. Like, I'm not going to lose. I've got nothing to lose. You know. Yeah, I've invested a bit of money into buying a new keyboard and stuff like that. But it's not the end of the world.
Honestly and truthfully, do you think you still have a bit of that now, holding you back from just committing full time on this? So, if for example, if I turned around and said, Bhav, you might have, let's say, 60, 70 bookings this year, but let's just say now you have 150 bookings.
Then I wouldn't be able to do 2 jobs.
What would you do?
Not.
Would you say no to bookings?
Yeah.
And then juggle both? Or would you just say, I'm going to take this leap, I'm going to do what I'm really passionate about, and I'm going to make something of this?
I don't know.
It's a big question. What would you do?
It's a difficult question to answer. I think if I was getting 150, 200 weddings a year, I wouldn't be able to handle doing 2 jobs. At the moment, like I said, I've got a nice balance of working full time, doing this on the side.
I can relate to this. I can see it. So it seems like... So if you had the demand and the bookings, and if this goes viral and that phone keeps ringing... It's going to be a difficult decision.
I know, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It would be a difficult decision because, like I said, I love like both things that I do. I love working in finance. That's what I always wanted to do.
I get it.
I have a good job, and I love performing. So I'm like, where do I draw the line? You know.
I get it. It was similar for me. Like I did a law degree. Always wanted to work for a major circle law firm. Got it. Did it for like 10 years of my life, and then this happened.
Yeah.
And then I ran the 2 companies side by side for 5 years, and there was a turning point. But now I look back 6 months, I'm like, I could have done this a few years back.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. So do you remember the first wedding you performed at?
Yeah, so before I actually started up Piano with Bhav, I just used to get my name out there. I did a couple of weddings, and they were like family, friends weddings. So I think the first ever wedding I did, I can't even remember. It must have been 2013 or 2014 maybe.
Yeah.
It was my brother's best friend's wedding, and I remember I didn't have a baby grand piano. I took my Yamaha like digital piano from home, got my dad to help me pick it up, took it apart in the back of his car, drove to a venue in Birmingham or something, and I still remember I mixed all of me with Halo by Beyonce, and I did a little mashup because that was the bride's 2 favourite songs, and it was a surprise. So it was a surprise for the bride. The groom was my brother's best friend. And I just obviously turned up on the day and I was playing, so I played for guest arrival and then their first dance, and that was the first event I ever did. And then I did maybe a couple more events after that, but it was like maybe 1 or 2 a year.
Yeah.
And they were all friends and families' weddings. And then that's when I started Piano with Bhav and started doing other people's weddings.
So I'm guessing you got a lot of feedback from everyone you performed at of how
and they loved
great it was.
Yeah.
And it just kind of spiraled from there.
It just spiraled from there, and that is also part of the reason why I was like, I can do this. You know, I've done it before.
Yeah.
On a small scale, but when I started seeing other people do it and performing at these big extravagant weddings, I was like, I can do this. I want to do this. Like,
absolutely.
It's fun. You know, it keeps me out of trouble on the weekends.
Yeah.
And I'm going out and traveling like the world all around the UK.
So your life must be full on. So
it's hectic.
You're full on. You're a full-time accountant.
Yeah.
You're juggling Piano with Bhav, where you're getting tons of bookings a year.
Yeah.
Your weekends must just be performances.
I don't have any social life at the moment.
Wow.
It's interesting because my evenings start 11, 12 o'clock at night. That's my downtime on a weekend. Yeah. So just this last week, I had a wedding on Wednesday. I had 2 on Saturday and 1 on Sunday. And the double booking is intense.
Wow.
So I was performing in Bicester in the morning, and I live in Milton Keynes. So I drove from Milton Keynes to Bicester, then played for a civil wedding with a violinist, packed up, drove from Bicester to Guildford to Frall Park.
Yeah.
Performed there for another wedding in the evening, finished at just after 9 p.m. And I left at 9 a.m. in the morning to get to the first gig. So I was out till 9 p.m, packed up, drove home. I think I got home just before midnight. And then Sunday, I was up again, 7 o'clock in the morning, back out again, performed for another guest arrival, civil wedding and drinks reception. And I got home at, I think, 8 p.m, 7 p.m, and then Monday back to work.
So do you have a work-life balance?
I think I didn't before, but over the last couple of years, I've been learning to make time and to be flexible. So right. I'm really lucky that the job that I work in finance, like my company and my team and my managers are so supportive of what I do. Like, you can have really difficult managers who won't allow you to do these things on the side.
Absolutely.
But they're like, look, Bav, like, we don't care what you do on the side. That's your personal life. That's your life. If you want to go out and perform on a weekend or on the evenings, as long as you get your job done and you get your deliverables,
Wow.
we don't mind what you do. And with me, I will put in the hours. And if I need to finish early to get to a gig, I'll finish early, but I'll come back home and log back into work if I need to and get things done. So I have got that work-life balance, but sometimes it does get a bit intense, and I do go to sleep really late, hardly get any sleep. Still try to get up in the morning and make it to the gym. And also at the moment I'm planning my own wedding, so I'm doing wedding planning, piano, job.
Are you going to be performing?
Definitely not.
Are you going to have musicians?
Definitely got musicians.
What are you opting for?
So not many people know what I'm doing yet. So
Does
when
your
this
partner
goes-
know?
Yeah, my partner.
Okay,
knows.
that's okay then.
No, it's just that we've not told friends and family what we're actually doing. But
When's the wedding?
So
Before we go there?
So I've already had my civil wedding. So
Okay.
I got married a couple of weeks ago. So we
Oh,
did the civil.
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. It was what 10 days ago. So
Oh, nice.
yeah. So we had the civil wedding, but very intimate, just immediate family. And then straight after we had our Indian engagement. And that was an amazing evening, like really nice setup.
Cute.
It was like a mini reception, although it was just an engagement. That was our like UK event, but we're actually getting married in Portugal in October.
Nice.
So yeah, we're getting married in the Algarve. That's where we're going to
Cute.
do like the Mendi party, the Haldi,
It's a
Sangeet,
full Indian.
Hindu wedding and reception. So
Got
that's
it.
all going to happen. But yeah, everyone keeps telling me, "Are you going to play? Are you going to play?"
Yeah.
Or they keep asking me, "Are you going to play at your wedding? Are you going to play at your wedding?" And I'm like, I just want a day off. I just want
Fair
to
enough.
not stress. And also, a lot of my friends who are coming are also musicians.
Cute.
So I've also said that they are not also performing. None of my friends are doing anything because I just want everyone to chill. Like, I want them to be relaxed. We're having a destination wedding. I just want people to enjoy it. And I know how it is because, like, I've performed at my friends' events or their weddings, and it's stressful. Like, I'll be there setting up my piano, getting there early, performing while all of my friends are having canapes and drinks and chilling out, and there's me playing, and then I've got to pack up, put the piano away. I can't have a few drinks because I've got to drive back home. So it kind of like it stresses you out a little bit,
Right.
and you don't really get to enjoy the party. So yeah, I was like, I know how it is. I'm in the industry. I've done this before. I just want people to relax.
So are you going to have a performer?
Yeah. So we've got a violinist.
Okay.
So she's going to be flying out, and we've also got a steel drummer who's going to be flying out from Amsterdam.
Okay.
So we wanted something different. Our whole wedding is going to be different. It's going to be
It's
like
not Jessica, is it?
it is
Oh, it's Jessica. Okay, I thought it might
Me
be.
and Jessica are very good friends. So
Yeah.
no, she's the best violinist that I know. So
She's
and,
fantastic. We've
yeah.
had a couple of events of
Yeah,
ours.
she's amazing, and we're really good friends. So if she wasn't performing, she would have been invited anyway to the wedding.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I need you there to perform. Like, you need to do a set. So she's going to be performing over dinner, canapes. But she's also going to be attending as a guest. So it'd be nice.
So we've got a lot of listeners who are going to be planning their wedding at the moment. They're probably listening to this podcast thinking, okay, what is the inspiration I need, or what are the questions I need to ask if we want a musician at our wedding? So if you can give some insights, Bav, what does a standard kind of phone call with a bride or groom, look like?
So first of all, most important thing, date of weddings. So I mean, we're in mid 2025 now. I've just locked in my first wedding for 2027. So I do get booked like 1 to 2 years in advance. And what a lot of brides and grooms don't understand is musicians get booked up quick. Sometimes people think, oh, do you know what, let's book the venue and let's book all the other suppliers and get the decor and the cake and all the other bits done, and we'll wait if we've got money at the end to see if we can afford a musician, which I get because, everyone's at a different point in their planning stage and people have different visions for their weddings. Every wedding's unique. And like for me personally, before I even knew where I was getting married and when I was getting married, I already had booked in my musicians.
Yeah.
Like the steel drummer, I contacted and told him, I don't know when I'm getting married. I don't know where it's going to happen, but you're going to be at my wedding. So just keep this weekend free. And he said, cool. And then once it was all confirmed, I paid the deposit and got it all booked in. But that's number one. Like, date is very important.
Yeah.
And also getting it locked in early. So like I said, if you leave it to the last minute, sometimes I get clients contact me 3-4 weeks before their wedding saying, are you available? And summertime, absolutely not. Sometimes in the winter, early in the year, you do have a bit of availability, but literally between April and October, I'm fully booked. Like every single weekend, I'm out performing. I don't have any availability left apart from midweek, and I can only do evenings because obviously I work full time as well. So I try to get evening bookings if I can. So that's really important. Also, on the phone call, is really important to understand what they want you to be performing for. So there's so many different types of events that happen over weddings. Is it your civil wedding? Is it canapes or drinks reception? Is it over a wedding breakfast? Is it over lunch? Is it over dinner? Is it indoors? Is it outdoors? So like with my piano, I can set up indoors and outdoors as well.
Right.
You know, if you're going to do your wedding in November, I don't think I can probably play outdoors because it might be raining. So all of these things we need to think about. And it's because we've been in the industry and we know how these things work. People forget to ask these questions, or they don't know that these are the things to think about from a bride and groom's perspective. So that's really important to know. And also timings. Like when do you want me to perform? Because like I said, last weekend I did 2 weddings in a day. The only way I can do those 2 weddings is understanding when do they want me to perform, when do I start playing, when do I stop playing, will that give me enough time to pack up and then drive to my next event and then set up again. So timings are really important, and sometimes some clients won't sort of know their timings until a couple of weeks before, which is difficult for us to know. Some people know from like a year in advance, I want you to play at 6 o'clock for my drinks reception, you know. So yeah, I mean, they're the generic sort of areas to cover when a client contacts you to book or to inquire. And then, like I said, every event's unique, so there could be a different setup. Sometimes clients want to put flowers in the piano, and they're like, oh, can we add flowers in your piano? The decor company will be there a little bit early, so I have to get there earlier to make sure that they're set up. Can you connect to the DJ? In which case, I won't use my speaker, but I'll get there early, liaise with the DJ, make sure the DJ's got the right connections for me to connect, or I'll bring the wiring that I need. So these are all the little conversations that we have behind the scenes to make sure that everything is like streamlined and goes as planned on the day.
Yeah, and I suppose when I reflect as planners, we be exactly the same. I mean, the key to any successful event, as soon as, I suppose, when we speak to clients, as soon as they have a date in mind, like you said, it doesn't matter if you don't know what the venue is.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you know what the timings are.
Yeah.
It's just about reaching out to the key vendors that you know you want there and letting them know. So, Bav, I'm going to get married 15th of September. I'll keep you posted, but just pencil it in your diary.
That's it. That's all you need to do. Like, I don't take a deposit or anything like that straight away. So if you just want me to pencil it in, what I'll do is I'll pencil it in, take your mobile number, and if I do get another inquiry and you haven't got back to me yet, I'll just drop you a message and be like, hey, you know, you inquired, are you still interested? Because I've got someone else interested. But at least you're locked in, you know, and you know that I've penciled you in. Potentially, you're going to book me. But yeah, I mean, that is the most important thing for us. I think just the dates are really important for us to get in the diary. And then it is disappointing when you get clients who really want to book you. Like, I have people messaging me saying, oh, I've been following you for so many years and now's my time, I'm getting married.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not available. I'm already booked, you know. And it is what it is. Like, it's first come, first serve. Whoever locks me in first will be the ones that I perform at.
So realistically speaking, and I'm conscious that yes, there are clients out there who will be planning their wedding 2 years in advance. Fine, they've got a fair amount of time to reach out and say, Bav, can we lock you in?
Yeah.
But what would you say on average is the advance notice that you need from any clients out there?
I would say minimum 9 to 12 months. So I think 9 to 12 months is a good amount of time. Sometimes, generally, people get engaged about a year before their wedding. So I think as soon as you get engaged, start looking straight away. Don't waste time. Yeah. So even with me, obviously, I've got the experience knowing how these things work in the industry. As soon as I got engaged last July, in July 24, within a week, I already contacted the photographer, videographer, DJ, decor. It was all done. Like, I locked everything. I think within the space of 4 weeks, I had all of my suppliers locked in, and we hadn't even decided where we're doing the wedding yet, because we were actually looking to do it in the UK, and then we decided, actually, you know what, we're going to go for a destination wedding. So then I told all of my suppliers, by the way, I know I told you that I'm getting married, but it's not going to be in the UK. It's going to be abroad. They were like, great, you know, we'll still do it, and then lock them all in. So I was like, my wedding planning was done within about 4 months.
Wow.
And we've everything's been locked in. Like, it's all done. Flew out to Portugal a couple of times. I'm flying again in a couple of weeks to do the last coordination, and then it's all ready basically for October. Hopefully don't need to go back until I get married.
And what is the biggest kind of wedding you've performed at then? Or what's the best wedding you've performed at? Something that you kind of look back and you're like, that was the one that has the kind of top spot.
I would say I actually flew out to Dallas in
Wow.
March this year, so March 25. So the client found me through Instagram, through social media, and it's so funny because she obviously they live in Dallas in Texas, and it was a mixed wedding. So the groom wanted Bollywood, the bride wanted English, but also loved Bollywood music as well. And they said, we don't have a musician like what you can do in Dallas. So we'd love to have you at our wedding. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. They literally flew me out, hired a piano, had it set up outside and inside, and I played for the civil wedding, and then the drinks and over dinner. And yeah, that was it was just crazy. Like, the whole setup of the wedding, it was an outdoor venue in, like, flying out to Texas, like, first time I've ever flown out, like, on my own as well, flew out, like, it was just crazy. Like, and the funniest thing about it was the bride told her makeup artist, who's also based in Dallas, that I'm performing, and she's like, oh my God, I follow him on Instagram. And her wedding planner also actually followed me on Instagram and knew who I was. And I was like, that's mad how people all the way there in America are follow me and know who I am. So
how does that make you feel? Because even last night, I was on, like I said to you, I was on the phone to a friend, and I mentioned we were going to have you on. And he said, oh yeah, he performed at my cousin's wedding. He was also at a good friend of mine. I'm like, wow. Like, how does that make you feel?
You feel like privileged. Like, it's a nice feeling to be known by so many people. And yeah, when I'm at weddings, like, I literally performed at a wedding on the weekend, like I said, in Bicester, and someone came up to me saying, oh, you're so famous on Instagram, and I've been following you for years. And then her mum came over to me and she was like, oh, like, you gave me goosebumps, it was amazing today. And to be honest, the feedback I got from that wedding was such nice feedback, because everyone was just so full of energy. I think because the weather was good, it was an outdoor wedding, everyone was just, like, so excited. And I don't know if the bride and groom had told all of their family that they had me and Jess performing. Basically, she was on the violin, so we performed together, and it just sounded incredible. We were outdoors, civil wedding, playing the bride's entrance, playing the bridesmaids' entrances, and the groom's dad actually came over to me and gave me a hug, and he was like, that was amazing. So he used to be a keyboard player, still plays a keyboard, in Africa, where he was born, and then he was part of a band, and then he moved over to the UK, and he still used to play at events and stuff. So he had that music vision and passion. So for him, he was literally like to me, he literally stood there for 10 minutes and he just watched me play, and he said I was just mesmerized, and I was watching all of my guests watching you, and they were just, like, so fascinated by everything. And it's nice to see, that people give you such good feedback, and they're so sort of happy about what you do, and like I said earlier, like, you make the bride and groom's dreams come true. Like, they've always wanted something like that at their wedding, and they've always dreamt of it, and you're there playing. To me, sometimes it doesn't feel like such a big deal, because I'm just going out and playing at another wedding. But for someone who's getting married for the first time, it's like, this is, like, the biggest day of my life. And it, like, if you think about it, it's stressful. Like, imagine you're there at someone's wedding, playing on the biggest day of their life. You can't mess up. You can't turn up late. You can't have problems with your equipment. Everything, like, I have all my equipment, like, tested. I do my sound checks. I have extra wires. I have, like, 3-4 of the same wires, just in case 2 of them go wrong. I've got a spare. So you have to be really prepared and really organized for these things.
Has there ever been a time where you've played and unexpectedly either the bride or groom or guests have just broken down into tears?
Yeah, loads of times. Oh yeah, I mean, loads of events where they've heard the piano and they've just started crying straight away, because obviously they've had that vision. And imagine being planning your day for so many months, and it's finally happened, and then you're finally walking down the aisle, and then you're hearing the music, and it's all there, and your family and friends are there watching you. I think all of the emotions hit them, and there's been loads of times where, like, the bride has cried.
And how is that moment for you?
I have to ignore it.
Have you ever cried?
No, no, no.
Not yet.
I don't know. Yeah, I might do at some point. But now I kind of have to. I have to just ignore it and just go with it. Like especially when I'm playing first dances and entrances, I'm really focused because they're like the parts of the day where you cannot press a wrong key. You cannot make a mistake. Sometimes in canapes and stuff, I'll be playing and I'll press a wrong key, but I've been doing it for so many years. You can flow around it and
Cover it up.
I can cover it up, and people will never recognize that I've made mistakes. But it's a live performance, and you're playing during drinks, you're having a bit of fun. I have people coming up to me while I'm playing and talking. That's the worst thing because like I'm here playing, trying to play piano, and I'm looking here and having a chat, and I'm like, I can't speak to you right now. Like, speak
Stop
to me
talking
later.
to me.
Yeah. And then so my brother, he comes to a lot of events with me. So luckily he does a lot of the driving. He sets up. He knows the ins and outs of setting up my piano.
Wow.
I can literally leave it with him. Like we'll offload. I'll go get changed while I'm getting changed. Piano set. So he's been doing it for so many years with me, and he's like my little security guard. So.
That is really interesting to me because even when I got married, we were thinking about having musicians at our wedding, and ultimately we opted to have a violinist serenade for us.
Yeah.
But one of the key considerations for me at that point in time was just logistics. Like, how am I going to get a baby grand or grand piano into this venue?
Do you know what? People still to this day have the same question. Like, I've been on Instagram, I've got so many posts on Instagram where I'm playing the same white piano. I'm playing on the same piano. I've got videos of me setting up my piano, and people still ask me, "Oh, how do you get your piano into venues? Like, can you play indoors? Can you play outdoors? Oh, we didn't book you." Like, I had someone come up to me at an exhibition that I performed at, and she said, "Oh, I've been following for so many years, but I didn't know that you can transport your piano."
Because I always thought, is it what Bhav's going around the country, going to Portugal? What, he has a lorry that's taken this grand piano with him?
Yeah.
So how does that work? How does the logistics work?
So when I first started doing weddings, I literally had a keyboard on a black stand, and it just doesn't look the part. And then I was like, what can I do to enhance this look? And I got into contact with a carpenter, and he built me a replica baby grand shell. So it's literally made out of MDF wood. It's like this exact same size as a baby grand piano.
Yeah.
It's got the lid, it's got the legs, it's got the massive box where you'd normally have strings in, but it's just empty space. And then it's got a little flap for me to drop my electric keyboard in, connect it to a speaker.
Right.
And then it all connects up.
So that's the thing. So when I look at your videos or when I see you on Instagram, it's like this looks like a baby grand piano, right? A luxury baby grand piano that's all white.
But if you come around the other side and watch me playing, it's a keyboard, full size.
It's a Yamaha keyboard, is it?
Well, a Casio keyboard now. it's a full size 88 key digital piano basically.
Wow.
With pedals, and that's what I'm playing on. But obviously, like my point wasn't that I want to not like confuse people. It was more I want it to look the part. Like you're having me on your special day. I wanted a white and gold piano, so that's why I got it done in white and gold, because white just goes with every setup and it just looks great.
It's weddings, classic.
Yeah, and when you're set up on a dance floor especially, it just looks amazing. But when people are looking at you playing, it looks like you're playing on a grand piano, like a full-on grand. When they come a little bit closer, they're like, oh, actually, they'll look over the side and be like, oh, it's an electric piano.
Wow.
I'm like, yes, this is how it is. And there's still, to this day, people are fascinated. I'm like, it's mad because obviously I'm performing at these weddings and I'm doing it like week in, week out. It doesn't feel fascinating or well, not interesting, but it doesn't feel fascinating to me because I'm like, this is my setup, this is what I've done, this is the reason why I did it. People still are like, I don't understand how you travel with this and how do you fit it in your car? And I was like, listen, the legs come out, the lid comes out, the box unclips, and then I'm literally left with 11 pieces and it goes into the back of my Nissan Qashqai. I've just got an SUV, seats down at the back, and it just fits in.
Have you flown with it?
No, I'd never fly with it.
But in theory you could, right?
In theory I could if I had travel cases.
Oversized luggage. You could go anywhere with it.
Yeah. Keyboard I could definitely take oversized luggage. That's just in a bag. But I'd be very scared about taking my actual shell abroad because if it gets lost, if it gets damaged, I'll just tell the clients like, you need to hire a piano there. I can help you to hire a piano because I know I have some contacts abroad anyway.
Right. Okay.
Who can set it up for me, and I'll just fly over and literally go and play on it because I can play on any piano basically. It doesn't make a difference to me. But yeah, I would never take my piano abroad with me. I had an inquiry for south of France
Right.
And
You could drive there.
yeah, no, that's what I was going to do. So she said, "Oh, we really want you to play on your piano because it was white and gold, and she loved the look of it." And I said, "Well, if you want, I can drive."
Yeah.
I think it was like a 30 hour drive or something in
Wow.
total, but it can be done. And then I would have just made like a week of it and gone on a bit of a holiday and done a little road trip. But yeah, they do have the option as well that if it's Europe, I potentially can drive. So like my decor company, who's doing my wedding in Portugal, they're driving from Leicester to Algarve
Wow.
to do my decor.
Wow.
So I've not even hired anyone local. All of my suppliers are from the UK. I'm flying every supplier out.
That's crazy.
DJ, decor, photo, video, musician.
And is that because it's more accessible to you? Or is it because it's harder to find those vendors locally?
I think both of those reasons. I think we found it hard to find the vendors locally. We
Right.
didn't know who the best vendor is. We didn't really have any contacts out there to recommend any
Oh, right, okay.
any vendors. Obviously, you can go on Instagram and search. And I looked at the venue that we're getting married at. I looked on their Instagram and looked at recent posts. I was like, oh yeah, they're a photographer. Oh, they did a wedding. Here's a caterer. Here's a videographer. And we got a few ideas, but because I'm in the industry, I like there were certain suppliers that I've always wanted to be at my wedding. Obviously, I've worked with hundreds of suppliers. Like
Yeah.
I've done so many weddings and I meet so many people. Someone new every single weekend that I'm performing. But there's certain suppliers that you really click with and you really get along with. And over time, so like my wife as well, she comes with me to my events and she will always remember certain suppliers. So that for our photographer, he took one amazing picture of me and her at a friend's wedding. So
Right.
my friend got married a couple of years ago and I recommended all of her suppliers for her. And she hired the photographer and videographer that I recommended. And I've got both of those at my wedding as well. But on that day, when we were at the wedding, he took such an amazing picture, which I've still got as my lock screen on my phone. And the quality and everything of his work and his professionalism and stuff when we were speaking to him was so good. Like my wife was like, we need to have him at our wedding, and we didn't even know when we were getting married at that point, but we knew from day one that's who we're going to have. So like even with brides and grooms, like when you attend other people's weddings, you'll see musicians, you'll see caterers, you'll try food and be like, oh, this food's really good. We need to
Yeah.
remember this caterer, and you'll note it down. So people do remember, and that's why I do get people contact me saying, oh, you performed at my friend's wedding 2 years ago, and we want to book you now for our wedding. So it's nice to have people remember, and that's why it's so important to like be on your A game every time you perform.
So do you have a wedding planner then, or you're
No.
doing it all yourself?
Actually doing it all of
So it's
ourselves.
all
yeah.
yourself. You're in
All
the
ourselves.
industry, so you have the contacts. You know
Exactly,
who's
yeah.
good
Yeah.
because you've built those kind of relationships. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're the best photographer I know, so I want you.
I
there.
want you at my wedding, yeah.
Okay.
And luckily, because we did it, we contacted them maybe like 16, 17 months in advance. They were available.
You know what
so-
you're doing.
Yeah,
You've seen
yeah,
it.
yeah,
You've
I've
been
seen
there.
it,
You've
exactly.
done it.
Like, I didn't want to take the risk of wanting someone and not getting it, because that's disappointing. When you really want someone, because I can imagine like I get some clients who really want to book me for their wedding and I'm
Yeah.
not available, and they're like, oh no, can't you just make it, or like can't you cancel the other event? I'm like, no, like someone's booked me, it's not, you can't just cancel
Yeah, of
like
course.
that. So first come first serve, that's what I say. So yeah, that's
Okay.
how it is.
And then Bav, I'm curious. Who normally contacts you? Is it the bride or the groom?
Brides mainly, I'd say. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe the brides are just a bit more on it when it comes to planning a wedding,
Yeah.
or they start early. But I do get a lot of grooms, and I've had quite a few grooms who have booked me for a surprise for the bride,
They're cute.
which is nice. Yeah, so like I had one a couple of months ago. I was performing in Blackburn, and basically the bride had already contacted me 6 months earlier to book, and then
Right.
she never got back to me. So I don't know, maybe it wasn't working out, or she just decided she doesn't want to go ahead with it. And basically she kept apparently raving on about me and kept showing me her fiance at the time videos of me playing. So then he contacted me a month before the wedding saying, look, she contacted you months ago and she hasn't got around to booking you, so I want to book you as a surprise. So
Cute.
they wanted me to play a Bollywood song for the entrance, or he wanted me to play a Bollywood song for the entrance. She thought it was getting played on speakers, but then as she was walking in, she saw me. And she
Wow.
looked at him, and she was like, I'm going to kill you. That's what it was like to me after the wedding. And they loved it. Like, it was like an amazing surprise for her as well. So it was a nice little touch to the wedding.
That's really cute.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you had any kind of bizarre requests?
Ooh.
What's the hardest request you've had?
Hardest request? I've not really had any challenging. I wouldn't say I've had challenging requests. I've had some funny requests, like Hindu wedding. I performed at
Okay.
bride's entrance. Normally, you'd think, a nice romantic Bollywood song.
Yeah.
She wanted me to play Still Dre, mashed up with Unforgettable by French Montana,
Wow.
and it sounded amazing. But people were shocked. They were like, "What the
is
hell
this?
is he playing? What is it? What is he doing? Why has she chosen this song?" But it sounded great. She wanted something different, so that was very unique. Because normally the usual songs to choose are the romantic Bollywood Dumi Ho, Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum sort of songs. But that was different.
Okay.
But I can't think of any challenging events I've had. I think they've all been quite smooth. I mean, because I've been doing it for so many years now, I've got to that point where I just know the ins and outs of what I need to do, the questions I need to ask. Sometimes I don't even need to have calls with clients anymore. It's got to that point where I'll send them my song list and say, look, you booked me for an hour, choose 20 songs or leave it with me. 90% of the time they'll say, your songs are great, you play whatever you're feeling. That's it. I literally won't speak to them until a week before, when I'll just catch up with them and be like, hey, how's everything going? Timings are still on point, have the timings changed? Has the event changed? Do you still want me to play for this part of your event? That's it. And then I'll be there, arrive on time, do my thing. So yeah, I don't even need to spend much time liaising with clients anymore. So it's quite a slick process now.
So you've got that standard operating procedure.
Yeah. And I do it all on my own. I manage everything on my own. So everything's done on my own. I respond to all my clients, catch up with all my clients, manage my own diary. And obviously working full time, it's very important to be able to work around two things. But like I said, my brother, my wife, my dad also comes with me, and friends also come with me to help at events. So whenever I've got some big events, like on the weekend I had to move the piano. And basically, the room was so small that we couldn't move the piano out once it had been built. So what I had to do, and basically it was funny because the guests were actually lining up to do what is it? When they throw the confetti and the bride and groom do the walkout. It was there, and I needed to use that exit to move the piano outside for the drink reception. So what we ended up doing, they had big bay windows.
You took it through the windows?
My brother climbed out the window. He was on the other side of the window. I dismantled the piano because I can set it up and pack it up myself as well, so I don't always need the assistance.
Right.
But when I'm moving the piano, it's good to have the help. And I literally was passing the piano pieces through the window. My brother was taking it out to the other side. Then I climbed over, and then we set the piano up outside. And by that time, that they'd done their little champagne tower, toast and everything, started having their drinks and canapes, the piano was set.
So how long does that take?
It literally took us like 15 minutes.
So it takes 15 minutes to put
to be honest, from the car, once I get to the venue, the most important thing for me is like how far is my setup from the place that I'm parked at the venue.
Yeah.
So the most difficult venues for me are central London venues because of the parking and the logistics. Like some venues, I know I'm going to get a ticket. I get a parking ticket all the time because there's nowhere else to park, and we're not allowed to leave our equipment outside. So I have to take my equipment. By the time I've gone in with a piece of my piano, I come back out and there's a ticket on the car. And it is what it is. Like, we know these venues inside out now. But yeah, logistically for me, I would prefer to be as close as possible to the door that I'm going to be going through. And like the event on the weekend, it was literally like 15, 20 meters walk from the car to the setup, straight in. I've got everything in bags, debag everything, set the piano up, put all the bags back in the car, sound check. I can do it in about 20 to 30 minutes.
So would you agree that it would be beneficial to have, obviously if you're planning your wedding, you have a wedding planner, for that wedding planner to obviously do all that legwork for you? Yeah. This is where you park, this is the loading bay.
Yeah, 100%.
This is the way in.
Yeah.
This is the way out. These are the timings.
I think Toastmasters and wedding planners are two of the most important things you need at your wedding. I just think every time I've performed at a wedding where there's not been a wedding planner, there's always been something that's gone wrong. Yeah. Timings have been out, there's been delays. Like recently I did a wedding and I wasn't told when I was supposed to be setting up.
Oh wow.
And the bride and groom basically said, you can set up wherever you want, wherever you think's okay. But sometimes it's a bit difficult because I want to be set up, if I'm doing a civil wedding, I want to be set up at the front of the room because the bride's walking down the aisle, I'm playing her entrance. I want to be seen by everyone. Yeah. There's no point in me setting up behind you. You might as well just have a speaker playing music. And at this venue, the venue was so small that there was actually no space at the front for me to set the piano up because it had big flowers and a big setup. It looked amazing, but there was no space for a piano. I had to set up at the back.
Yeah.
and I was playing behind everyone, and people were looking at the front.
The projection of the sound is from behind.
But sound projection is absolutely fine. I've got a huge speaker which I can fill up big venues. But when you're performing at someone's wedding, you wanna be seen. The client wants you there.
Of course.
You know, if you're not in a good setup and you're not in a good location, sometimes I feel like you might as well just have background music on a speaker. You know, you're paying all this money, or you're having a musician there, whether it's a piano, violin, saxophone, wherever it is, you want them to be front and center. You know, it's quite a big thing, and obviously with my setup, it looks nice and elegant, so you want it to be seen at the front.
It's a statement piece, right? You've got that white and gold piano.
Exactly,
You want the guests looking at that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like you say, you could just have music on in the background.
And the problem with like that setup, for example, is there was no wedding planner that day, so I didn't know who to speak to. I didn't know who the coordinator was at the venue. I had no contacts, nothing, and then I just set up at the back. But like sometimes, and also like obviously I've been doing this for so many years. When you're a bride and groom and you're planning your wedding for the first time, there's things that you don't think of. So when it comes to setting up, I sometimes recommend to the client, look, I know you wanted me here, but I think it's better if I set up here. I know you wanted this song, but I think you should go for this song. So like sometimes for like a civil exit, you want something nice and upbeat. So I'll be like, look, I know you've chosen this song. It's quite a slow song. I think you should go for something a bit more energetic, a bit more upbeat, because people are going to be cheering you out. You're going to be exiting. You've just got married. So we have all these ideas, and I'm always happy to challenge my clients back to be like, look, what do you think of this, you know, rather than just do what they say, because I know obviously they've got their vision, but sometimes it does change their mind and they're like, oh, actually, you know what, I didn't think about that.
You're the professional.
So exactly. So that's important as well for your clients to sort of listen to your recommendations as well sometimes, because I've been at venues so many times. I'm recommended at a number of venues in the UK, and I literally know the ins and outs. I even know where the plug sockets and the light switches are, so I know I can't set up here. But if you set me up here, there's a plug socket there to plug into, and I won't get in the way of people. And then it makes them think, oh, actually, you know what, that would probably look better. So most of the time, they'll end up agreeing with what I say in the end.
And do you have like a iconic or favourite venue you've performed at?
Oh, I've got loads of venues.
What would you say is kind of highlight?
Savoy, probably. Savoy is amazing. Grosvenor House, like the central London venues.
JW Marriott?
Yeah. All of the central London venues are just amazing. They're just so like
they're difficult to work with.
Yeah,
in terms of getting in and out.
In terms of logistics,
but
very
they're
difficult.
Your favourite to perform.
They're the favourite to perform at. Yeah,
interesting.
Just the way that their setups are, the suppliers you work with, they're all next level setups.
Yeah.
They're amazing venues, but I'm also recommended at a number of other venues. Like you've got Offaly Place, you've got North Mims, you've got Frawl Park, all top amazing venues. Like Frawl Park, for example, they've got the outdoor,
the dome,
and it's amazing. Like on a good day, looking out. When
especially if you've got the sun behind you, the chairs.
Yeah, it's nice. So
it's beautiful.
It is really nice, and I mean, there's so many venues that I've played at that are really, really nice. I don't think there's ever been a venue that I've been to and I've been like, oh, don't like this. Because every event's unique, every event's different, and every setup's different. Although you'll have the same kind of day. You've got your wedding in the morning, then you have your drinks and your canapes, and then you've got dinner, and then you've got reception, then you've got dancing and stuff like that. But every decor and setup and stage and food and everything is just different. So it's nice. Like you get to see so many things, and that's why I found it easy planning my wedding, because
you've done it, you've seen
what we wanted, and I've seen SAPs and be like, oh yeah, I want this for my wedding. So it gives us the ideas as well.
Makes sense. But we've obviously spoken about weddings quite a lot, and a lot of our listeners will be planning weddings or will be thinking about getting into the wedding industry, maybe professionally. We also run Fairy Tale Proposals. For Fairy Tale Proposals, we kind of organise, I think we do about 600 events a year.
Oh, that's crazy,
Have you performed at any proposals yet?
No. So I actually, I've had inquiries for proposals. I've not performed at any proposals. On the day I got married a couple of weeks ago, someone messaged me like a week before saying they were doing a proposal in Mayfair. Yeah. And there was a piano already at the venue, and he's like, I really wanted to play for my proposal. And I was like, I'd love to, but I'm getting married on the same day, so I can't do it.
Okay, so never done
a proposal, yeah.
So it'd be really good to get your perspective on it then. So naturally speaking, proposals are very quick.
Very intimate.
They're intimate, two people. It's not it's not a wedding where you've got hundreds of people looking at you. It's
just two of you.
Two of them. Normally, generally speaking, it's a guy proposing to a girl. What is your view on setting up your piano at one of these kind of venues, let's just say in London, for a couple for their proposal?
I mean, I think having a piano, or even if it's not a piano, any type of musician is amazing to have at a proposal, because like you said, it's very quick, but also it's an intimate event. It's nice to have a little bit of background music and having something live as well, rather than just a little speaker or something playing in the background it's more effective. It would work with a setup as well. If you've got a really nice, extravagant setup in London, and then you've got a nice white piano on the side, a live piano player, it'll look the part.
Yeah.
And also, like I said, it's very quick, but also after proposals, they'll have a drink, or they may have some food, or they may take some pictures, and they still may be chilling for half an hour, 1 hour, and you could still be playing in the background.
Cute.
So I think it would look great, and it would work.
I'm just thinking about that actually now. It's my kind of hat coming on now. I mean, have you performed up in the Shard yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we do, of the 600 proposal, we must do at least like 100 of those.
I've seen your setups at the Shard.
And I'm just thinking there's fantastic spaces overlooking the city where it's just like complete glass, all decorated, fantastic views, especially in the evening where those London lights come on, Tower Bridge lights up.
Yeah.
We could have you, your white piano, white and gold piano in the corner playing away.
You know what? People probably don't book it or contact me for it because they probably don't think I can get it up there.
Yeah.
But I actually can, because like I said, it's flat packed.
Yeah.
I can put all the pieces in the lift straight to the top and set the
within
piano
15 minutes, piano's done.
Basically, yeah. Once I've offloaded and the piano's in the lift and at the room, I can set it up in 15-20 minutes. So It can be done. I think people don't think about it, and like I said before, people still to this day don't realize that it's my piano. They just think that every venue that I play at has a white and gold piano, the same piano.
Right.
But obviously, some people see one of your videos, like when you sometimes flick across Insta and you'll see me pop up.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, that looks good, but I doubt he can play at my wedding. Like, we don't have a piano at our venue, but I bring my piano. That's the difference, because there's not many venues in the UK that have a piano. And yeah, I even get inquiries from people saying, oh, hey, if there's not a piano at the venue, are you still able to bring your own? And I was like, yeah, this is my setup. Like, and I have made posts as well saying, this is my setup, this is my piano, this is how I set up my piano. I've done those little quick, what are they called? Like the
Shorts,
of me setting up the piano.
Or reels,
yeah. Still, I get the questions, and it's funny because I've got like 500 posts of me playing at different venues all around the world.
You always will, even with us. I mean, we have everything very transparent in terms of our pricing. Like we're probably the most transparent planner with all of our pricing on our website. You can actually go on our website. You can choose your package. It's like a car. Like you can literally choose, where do I want to propose? What do I want it to look like? Do I want to add a violinist? Yes. You can customize it all, but we still get the inquiries saying, how much is this going to cost me? And I'm like, we've sent thousands and thousands to configure a platform where literally you can just go online and
press
just
a button
choose
and find the price.
And literally the price. It tells you the price. You can choose your dates, your times, and just check out.
Yeah.
Like, we've made it so seamless, but we still get those inquiries, which is how much is this? Can you do this? We've even got FAQs on it. We've got brochures out there. We've got all these videos. But you will always get clients like that, because
you'll get that. And I think some clients want that personal approach. To be honest, I don't have a website. I noticed. And there's a reason why, because I want people to contact me, because I feel like I'm such a big part of your day. I don't just want to be booked online and then have no communication and turn up to your wedding, don't know who you are, don't know how you look, and play at your wedding. So I speak to my clients. I WhatsApp them, email them. If they message me on Instagram, I'll reply on Instagram. So I have that personal approach or relationship with them, which I just think is nicer. And they make WhatsApp groups with you, and I have a lot of banter with some of my clients, and we have a laugh. And obviously, when I go to events, like I said, my brother comes with me. He'll take footage, and that's obviously what I put on my social media. And I also send it back to my clients and be like, thanks for having me on the weekend. Here's some footage from your event. So,
Bev, I'm probably going to ask you something quite challenging now, actually. So, I know you don't have a website. I tried to find your number, couldn't find it.
I went on
Instagram. went on Google, couldn't find it. I dropped you a message on Instagram.
Yeah.
But then I thought, okay, I don't know when I need a response. I'm one of those
Yeah.
people which is like, I like to jump on the phone.
Yeah.
Straight away, speak to you,
Yeah.
hash it out, job
Yeah,
done. I sent you a message, but then I thought, you know what, this doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Couldn't find your number. So I thought, okay, who is the person who knows us both? So I
Yeah.
picked up the phone, Jessica, straight away. I was like, Jessica, can you give me Bav's number? She knew it off by heart. She just said it to me. I wrote it down. I'll text you straight away. I'll call you.
Yeah.
And
called
got
me.
back to me.
Yeah.
Right?
But I got back to you straight away.
Why is it you don't have your number on like Instagram, online, where people can just call you?
Because it's my personal number, so I don't really want to share it. Yeah. But to be honest, I had so like when I was on the radio last night, they called me. So I got a call just like how you called me. They called me. They actually found my number through Awfully Place.
Okay.
So yeah, I was a recommended supplier on their brochure, and she got my number from there.
Yeah.
That's where they got the number from. But for me, email me or contact me on direct, because I know a lot of suppliers, a lot of musicians, they say no DMs. But I'm always active on social media.
That's good.
So if you message me, I will reply. I see your message pop up straight on my phone. I'm always on my phone. And if I'm busy, like sometimes I have clients, like someone was messaging me for their wedding in August, and they've just done their song list, and they just wanted to confirm a few bits and bobs. So they're like, oh, they've got a WhatsApp group with the bride and groom confirming a few bits.
Yeah.
I got the message, but I was about to perform. Literally replied back straight away saying, hey guys, I'm performing at the moment. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So at least they're aware that I've acknowledged their message, and I will get back to them.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that I'm very active and I reply straight away, I don't need to have my number or anything like that on there.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you've got a business card, my number's on the business card, and I've got rid of thousands of business cards. So
fair enough.
So they'll be somewhere.
That's really interesting, because I mean, John, who's behind the scenes, and the rest of the team will tell you this as well. We've got this core value of responsiveness.
Yeah.
And I always kind of hound on about it, which is 10-second rule. Sorry, 10-second rule. I wish 10-minute rule. So as soon as we get a client who reaches out to us, it's our job as planners within 10 minutes to get back to them.
Yeah.
So whether that's kind of
even just an acknowledgement,
even if it's not exactly what I say to the team. Like, I get it that sometimes you're just busy, you're at events, you're setting up. But even if you just send that holding message to say, thank you, seen your response, I will get back to you. Give me a couple hours, I'll get back to you. That's all it takes.
But like as someone who's planning my wedding as well now, I've learnt from that as well, because I contacted clients in Portugal for certain things that we can't have from the UK, and they don't reply. And like I'm chasing them 2-3 weeks later saying, hey, contacted you, can you get back to me?
Who's the client here?
I know, why am I having to contact you? I'm giving you business.
Exactly.
You should get back to me, even if it's just an acknowledgement, even if it's just to say, oh, I'm on holiday or I'm out of office at the moment, we'll get back to you. But nothing. You don't hear anything. Some didn't even reply to us. So I'm like, do I email them? Do I get their number and call them? Do I direct message them on Instagram? Some I message on Instagram and they hadn't even read my message.
Yeah.
But then they're posting on Instagram. So I'm like, are you not reading them? Or is it no DMs again? Or
completely
how do I contact you? So I've learned that way, but I just
Absolutely.
think, like you said, responsiveness is important. So as soon as I get a message, I don't have no DMs on my social media. So if you DM me, I'll respond. Like you called me that day, but I was in a meeting, so I couldn't answer the call. But as soon as I was done, I saw your message on Instagram and I called you back. So
no, I get that. Completely get that. So we've talked about obviously your background. We've talked about weddings.
Yeah.
We've touched on proposal planning, which you don't do enough of, but hopefully after this episode you're going to get a lot more. We'll get you at the top of the shard one day. We can get you there this week. We can if you're free. So one of the key things, and I'm thinking about our listeners, right? You're definitely going to have people planning their wedding listening to this, and most of our audience, I reckon, are going to be the brides, right? And one of the things as grooms that I'm going to be concerned about is the purse strings. What does it cost to have Piano with Bhav at my wedding? Now, I get it that it's going to depend on, is it a reception, how big it is, how long it is, but can you give us a sense so our viewers have an idea in the back of their mind so that they can quantify or qualify whether to contact you or not?
So all of musicians have their own pricing strategies, and I've learned over the years, but I charge the same for any type of event, because for me, whether it's a wedding, whether it's a party, whatever type of event it is, I'm still coming there with my piano, setting up my piano and playing the same music. So I normally do minimum 1 hour. So you have to book me for an hour minimum. I have very rarely had clients book me for half an hour or 45 minutes.
Right.
But whether you book me for half an hour, 45 minutes, you might as well just have me for an hour, because if I'm coming all the way there and I'm setting up the piano, you might as well have me for the full hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, my prices at the moment start from 600s.
Okay.
600s. You can cut that bit.
We'll keep it in.
my prices currently start from £600, and then it depends on what you want me to perform for, how many hours I'm performing for. I can perform from 1 hour all the way up to 5 or 6 hours. So generally, I get booked for an hour to 2 hours.
Right.
So, and most of my performances are either civil weddings or drinks receptions. Civil weddings generally are done in an hour. So
Yeah.
guest arrival, 15, 20 minutes. Bride entrance, couple of minutes. The ceremony is about 15 or 20 minutes again. And then I'll play the exit and then play the guest out. And it's all in all done in like an hour. Sometimes you have your guests come in a little bit early for half an hour, 45 minutes. Then you extend it to an hour and a half. Drink receptions, always an hour, hour and a half. Rarely 2 hours. Never really more than 2 hours. But yeah, I mean, I've been booked for whole events. So a lot of like nikahs and walimas that I get booked for, they generally don't have entertainment or a DJ or a dance floor.
Yeah.
So they'll book me for the whole duration. So it'll be from guest arrival all the way through starters, mains, desserts, bride and groom's entrances, exits.
And what would that roughly cost?
It depends how many hours you book me for, but it would be over £1,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So 1,200, 1,400.
And is there a
Just
radius
depends.
around that? Like, is that just London, or would you travel all
I
across the
perform
country?
all over. Yeah. So I know some suppliers charge depending on where they're going to be traveling to.
Yeah.
But I travel all over, and it's the same price wherever
So
you book
flat
me.
rate.
Like I said, flat rate.
Birmingham, London.
Whether it's Birmingham, London, Leicester, Bradford, Newcastle,
Wow.
it's the same price. Because
Okay.
like I said, it's the same. For me, it's the same thing. I'm still coming with my piano, still setting up, still playing at your event. So my price shouldn't really be different for people, for clients, depending on location. I don't believe in that, but obviously everyone's got their own strategy, and it works for them. So
Can you tell me a time when something's gone wrong?
yeah. So personally, or
Either.
anyway,
At an
so,
event?
Yeah, at an event. So recently, I was at an event. I won't name the venue, but I was at an event. I was playing. So I think I was doing. I was playing piano over the meal. Actually, the starters are being served, and as I was playing piano, everything's going well. People are recording me. My brother's there taking footage of me. Everyone's chilling, having a drink. There's a photo booth next to me, and I just hear a big crash, and the table collapsed. One of the tables collapsed.
Wow.
Don't know how. Not sure how it happened, but it collapsed. They had massive flower balls on the table, like not the small ones, really big flower balls on a vase, on the floor,
Wow.
smashed. Glasses, obviously drinks, smashed.
Yeah.
Luckily, they hadn't got their food yet, so there was no food everywhere. But all the glasses smashed, table collapsed. Heard all these screams. It was a bit manic. I just carried on playing. I was just like, let me just try and
Distraction.
start distracting these people. But because of the whole incident, I pressed a few wrong keys and I kind of lost my flow. I just lost my
Yeah,
flow.
of course, naturally.
And then I just thought, I'll just restart. So I
Yeah.
restarted, played the song again. And to be honest, although that happened, the turnaround was so quick.
Yeah.
Like, I'd say within like 3 minutes, the table was gone and the new table was there and it was cleaned.
Wow.
So I don't know how they did that, but they literally rolled the table out and brought a brand new one in, brushed up. I saw people brushing up,
Yeah.
cleaning up the glass, and they were sitting back down again.
Wow.
No flower balls, no vase, obviously, because that was gone.
That's gone.
But empty table, but they were all sitting there. That was a bit crazy. Also, I've had some events where there's quite a few venues, and interestingly, I feel like clients don't get told this or notified, or they don't read the small print. So that's also very important to do. Like, one piece of advice I'd give is when you book a venue, or you book a musician, or you book anything, read the small print, read the contract, read everything properly, because there's things that may happen on the day that you don't know about.
Yeah.
So there's been venues that I've performed at where they have a sound limiter, and if I hit the sound limit, all the power cuts out.
Wow.
Or not just for me, but even for the DJ. if I'm cutting the sound out playing the piano, the DJ is definitely going to cut the sound. And then all the electrics turn off. Then you have to wait to power everything up again. And imagine you're on the middle of the dance floor having a rave, having a great time, and your like power cuts out.
Yeah.
So that's one thing to consider, and also issues that I've like challenges that I've had at venues where they've got a sound limiter, because for me I like to have my music, you know, going through the whole venue, and sometimes because of sound limiters I have to put it on 30 or 40%.
Right.
So it's frustrating because people that are at the back of the venue won't really be able to hear me, because especially when if you're doing a civil wedding, it's absolutely fine because it's completely quiet, pin drop silence. When you're doing canapes and over meals, you've got plates, you know, clashing, glasses clinking, you've got people chatting, there's so much going on.
Yeah.
People probably don't even hear what you're playing, and that's why I like to put the sound up a bit. But when you've got a sound limiter, I can't do that. And also I've been to venues where they don't actually allow musicians to play outdoors because of neighbors or surrounding areas. Some venues that I play that have like animals, you know, stuff like that, like wildlife and stuff that you don't want to disturb. But like there's been times where I didn't know about that, so I got to a venue, set up the piano outside, and they're like, you're not allowed to play out here. I was like, but the bride and groom wanted me outside. So then I'm stuck, and I'm like, what do I do? Then I have to liaise with the bride and groom on their wedding day while they're busy getting ready, saying, by the way, were you not aware that I can't actually play outdoors? They're like, oh my God, no, we didn't know about that. So I had to dismantle and set up the piano again inside with my speaker facing outside. And
Right.
I was basically playing inside for the venue or for the event that was happening outside.
So they might as well just have
Have music on the speaker. So
and that's why it comes back to that point that we keep reiterating. It comes up every episode, not even by me, but it's having that planner in place.
Yeah.
That knows the venue inside out, knows these details, and can guide the clients.
Yeah. And actually, I didn't finish off what I was saying earlier, where I said it's really important to have a wedding planner and a toastmaster, like even a toastmaster, because I've noticed every event that I've performed at where there's been a wedding planner, it has been so on point and so organized. Timings are bang on. Yes, you have a little bit of delay, but then the wedding planner actually makes the time back.
Yeah.
And they know how these things work. The bride and groom don't have to worry about anything. They're busy doing their pictures. They're busy getting ready. You don't even need to liaise with any family members. You know what's going on.
Stress is
you
gone.
have the power to make changes with your suppliers. Like they can tell me, Bav, can you move over here? Or instead of playing for this, can you play for this section? And I've had wedding planners do that, but it works. And we work together and we listen to one another. Like I said, I've noticed every event that I played at where there's been a wedding planner, I've never had a problem. Whereas when there's not a wedding planner or a toastmaster to keep like timings on point, there's always delays. And you know, for us as musicians as well, I've been delayed by 1, 2, 3 hours before. Where things haven't been set up. So that's, I think it's very important to have that in place as well. Although I've not got a wedding planner for my wedding. But the only reason I haven't is because I'm in the industry and I know how these things work. But if you're someone who's planning your wedding for the first time and you've never experienced it, you don't really have the knowledge or the expertise, and it's good to just get that. You know, I know wedding planners can be expensive.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
Was that one of the reasons why you didn't get one for your wedding?
That is the price or
price.
Price wasn't a problem for us. Like I think for us it was just the fact that I'm in the industry. I know which suppliers I wanted. Like even with wedding planners, they'll recommend suppliers. Yeah. So you can leave it to them, and I get loads of wedding planners contact me saying, "Oh, hey, I've got a client. They want to book you for this day, or they're interested." I get a lot of bookings through wedding planners, but I'm doing my own wedding planning because I know what I wanted and I know how I want it to be. So we didn't really require that planner.
So one thing I will say, and I can relate to this with you because I completely hear where you're coming from. So we organised, so I organised my wedding about 2 years ago with my partner, and we did have a wedding planner. We got married in Koh Samui in Thailand, and we did have a local wedding planner. Yeah. But because, similar to what you said, you're in the industry, you know what works, what doesn't, you know all the checks you need to do, you know where everything should be. So although we had that wedding planner, there was a lot of things that I made decisions on and that I arranged. But one lesson I will say was, and I look back on this, right? It's not, I wouldn't say it's a regret, but I always give this kind of, this thinking, because it's always in the back of my mind. Yeah. On your wedding day itself, I was definitely standing there thinking this needs to happen, that needs to happen. Yeah. Has this happened?
Has it happened? Yeah.
Because you're accountable for it, right? You haven't got a wedding planner who's taken accountability. So when I look back, I did all of that. Similar to you, I was in literally the same shoes as you. Yeah. and I took that on myself to do, and it all went to plan because
Yeah,
I did it. I know it's
yeah,
going to happen. Control freak I am, so it's going to happen.
I think that is partly why I've not
Exactly.
got a piano as well.
But that's where I think, you know what, I think I should have at least have had a wedding day coordinator where I could just said, this is the plans, this is who's doing it. Can you just make sure it happens?
Yeah, I think, coordinators. So we have got a coordinator.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So in Portugal, we've got a coordinator, and that's who we're meeting in a couple of weeks.
Perfect. Okay,
so we
good.
have the coordinator because we're obviously not in Portugal.
Yeah.
They can also speak the language.
Perfect.
So with with the chefs and food
Yeah.
and things like that. So So the reason we're going in a couple of weeks is to organise all the timings of events, and they want all the suppliers' information. So they will organise when the suppliers will come, where they will park, where they will set up.
Okay, so you don't have that stress.
That's going to be sorted.
Perfect.
We just didn't have a wedding planner.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but coordinator, I think coordinator is definitely important. Like, even we've got one. It came with the venue anyway, but even if it didn't come with the venue, we would have hired one. Because I think coordinator is very important.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Bab, what's the kind of wedding song that's been most requested?
English or Bollywood?
Either. Both. Let's do one of each.
I think still Bollywood, Dumi Ho, has
Okay.
always been the favourite. Dumi Ho or Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, like the Bridgerton version, so like the nice string version, but I play that on piano.
Right.
For English, Can't Help Falling in Love or 1,000 Years.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Perfect.
No, they're such old songs, but
Okay.
still, especially like Can't Help Falling in Love, Elvis Presley.
Absolutely.
Very old song, but still, to this day, they get chosen
We had
the
that
most.
as
Did
our
you?
yeah on our Western ceremony down the aisle. We had that playing on the violin.
So yeah, they're the most popular song choices I get. I get random requests, like someone asked me recently to play the Black Panther theme tune. Never heard it in my life. Haven't watched Black Panther. So so I listened to it on Spotify and I learned it a couple of days before the wedding.
How long did it take you?
That took me about 7 or 8 hours, and it took me 7 or 8 hours to learn 1 minute 30, 1 minute 40 of the song.
Wow.
So it's long. It was a long process, and it was tiring, but I learned it and I smashed it. And and the bride messaged me after saying, "Oh my god, it was amazing." That it actually sounded really good on piano.
Yeah.
And it's not a piano song, so that was good. But yeah, that was a bit of a random request. But yeah, I do get random requests, but I also get the standard romantic popular requests. So.
Have you ever had, like, you're performing at a wedding and someone comes to you and says, "Bab, can you play this?" and they just put their phone on, here's Apple Music, play, listen to this, off you go?
Sometimes, but I can't pick it up that quick to do it. So, and obviously I'm there performing for someone's wedding. I don't want to be sitting there trying to play a song. I have had people do that. Literally on the weekend, someone came up to me and she showed me a Punjabi song on her phone. And she said, "Oh, can you play this Punjabi song?" And I said, I've never heard it before. And maybe, if I listen to it, I can start picking it up. But I wouldn't be in a position to just start playing it. I would need a couple of hours probably to perfect it, get it all right. Because I learn all the songs in pieces and then I'll piece it together at the end.
Yeah.
I can't be doing that at someone's wedding when I'm supposed to be playing properly. So I normally would take them away and learn them at home. And I've got a list of songs that I want to learn on my phone. Like when I hear songs, or when I hear, like, what's interesting is I still watch other musicians play, and I see, oh, like whatever they're playing sounds really good. I want to learn that, and I'll give it a go. So yeah, like, I still get inspired by other musicians who do the same thing as what I do, but they play different things.
And Bab, is there a musician out there that you kind of look up to?
My favourite musician is Ludovico.
Okay.
Einaudi, classical piano player, but
Yeah.
I play some of his music as well.
Oh, do you?
But yeah,
That's fantastic.
his music is just
Yeah.
amazing. Like, you hear it all over the world. People don't know who he is sometimes, but they actually, the music is on TV and on promos, on adverts.
All the time.
You hear it, but you never know it's him. But I've seen him play live as well, which is it's amazing. But yeah, he's probably the one I look up to, because he plays piano as well. So yeah, maybe one day I might be there.
I'm sure you will. And Bab, we've probably got, like, some of our listeners who might come, dine into this, or tap into this podcast, who are looking to do something similar to what you've done. Right? They're at home, they enjoy just playing, but they're in a job and they haven't taken that leap, or built anything that allows them to get out there and start earning, or earning money on their passion. Like, what advice could you give them?
So I do get this question a lot, I get loads of people contact me saying, hey, you know, just wondering, how did you start out? I also play the piano. How did you get to where you got to now? And for me, like I said earlier on in this podcast, I just thought I need to bite the bullet. It took me a couple of years to sort of do it myself, but then I thought I need to bite the bullet, I need to do this, and then I just need to take the risk and start doing it. At the end of the day, you've got nothing to lose. As long as you can find a balance between your lifestyle at the moment, your social life, your work life, and any other things that happen in your personal life, if you can find a good balance and be able to make piano or any type of instrument that you play work alongside it. I mean, some people are always at home practicing and making music and singing or doing these like these things that they have a passion for on the side. Why not just start, you know, getting your name out there and posting it on social media? I mean, social media is the place to put that stuff, to get your name out there. I know people are scared as well. Like, I think I have imposter syndrome. So like, I'll record myself playing piano, or someone will record me playing piano and be like, nah, I don't like that. I can do better than that. I need to record that again. And I'll spend hours and hours and hours recording. But other people watch it and think, wow, that's amazing. But I'll look back and think, no, I don't like that. And I think some people have that fear as well. Like, what if I'm just not good enough? What if I put something up and I don't get enough likes, or I don't get enough comments, or people give me negative feedback? But you know what? You just got to deal with it. I get people giving me negative feedback. I've had it in the past. I don't retaliate. I literally just swipe, delete. I don't have time for people to give negative energy. So
of course,
that's just how I am. Like, I've had comments in the past where people have said, "Oh, he's not even playing the piano," and I'm like, "What the hell am I doing then? Like, what are these keys being pressed?" He's like, someone was like, "It's out of sync. It's not even the same song." And I was like, you know what? Delete the comment. I don't have time to even...
That must be really difficult.
Yeah. It can be difficult, and I think some people do get really impacted by it, but I think you need to be really headstrong.
Yeah.
You will get negative feedback. Like you asked me earlier, you will have challenges.
Yeah.
But you need to just be positive about it and get on with it. At the end of the day, you're there to entertain people. If something goes wrong, you need to be quick at making a decision and just go with it.
So 5 years from now, Bhav, like, where do you see yourself, or where would you like to be?
I would like to be doing more of what I do now on the piano side. So performing at more events, maybe doing other stuff like proposals, like you guys do. Working with a lot of other like wedding planners, working with other people in the industry. I want to do a lot more collabs. I want to collaborate with different musicians. Yeah. And I want to try and hit more weddings and try and get more abroad weddings as well if I can. So yeah, I mean, like what I do now, I love doing it, and I wouldn't want to change it. So if I can do more of what I'm doing now, then great. As long as it's within my capacity, I'll do it.
So Bhav, thanks for being on Behind the Proposal and Before the Owl. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I hope you've also enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been great.
It was fantastic learning so much about you. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.